Warhammer 40,000 Battle Sister comes from a long line of 40k video games that are mixed in quality at best and downright bad at worst. Because of this, Battle Sister has relatively large shoes to fill, as it's the first 40k game in VR. The legacy, lore, and popularity of the Warhammer universe comes with a number of things, but most of all these days is a question of quality in regards to its video games. So how does Battle Sister fare in the history of Warhammer 40k games? I own most of the 40k games available on PC and would say it's most comparable in nature to 2011's Space Marine, originally released on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. How it compares is in delivering room after room of combat and enemies to slaughter, and while the numbers aren't nearly as overwhelming as Space Marine at times, the experience of going place to place shooting enemies in the name of the Emperor remains the same. Unfortunately, however, where Space Marine can rely on its Gears of War style gameplay to give variety to the gameplay, Battle Sister quickly starts to feel monotonous as the immersion of being inside of an adventure in the 40k universe fades. The game is a myriad of small issues, like getting caught on terrain consistently, and on the PC version when a loading screen would finish, my screen would stay completely grayed out until I pulled one of my triggers, as though they forgot a loading screen UI. This led me to believe the game was fundamentally broken on PC and delayed my review by a week as I waited for them to potentially update it. On my quest, it would crash frequently between levels, and I would have to reload the game and reload a save to get back to where I was. The initial charm and novelty of wielding classic 40k weapons such as the bolt pistol and the chainsword are quickly rendered meaningless with a nearly weightless or ungratifying execution. The bolt pistol itself seems more like an actual pistol in its execution than anything that's hurling self-propelled exploding bullets at things. In fact, the weapons overall seem to lack an overall impact, with the heavy bolter doing similar damage and perhaps being less effective than a basic las rifle, something granted to basic guards and civilians as they're considered relatively useless. The melee seems to be dependent on arbitrary factors, as the momentum and path of my swing seems to have nearly no effect. Sometimes the force sword would simply stop functioning as a weapon and I would have to switch hands to be able to attack something with it. This perhaps would be more acceptable were it not for the fact that combat is all Battle Sister has to offer in terms of gameplay. Looting and exploration are quickly revealed to be, here's the same pistol and heavy bolter that you've found 4 times this level, along with ammunition. There are maybe 4 to 5 player interactions per level, ranging from removing fuses from power panels to switching levers. Everything else is combat. Collisions for grabbing items in lockers is bad, as in you can see which lockers have items as soon as you enter a room, and usually you will not have to open it to grab it. Simply move your hand near the locker and the item will phase through it into your hand, even if you wanted to open the locker to grab it anyways. Moments like meeting the Black Templar initially are impressive, but quickly ruined by the fact that outside of his shouting, the Black Templar makes zero sound as he moves. Neither you nor the Black Templar have footsteps, leading you to feeling like things are even more weightless than they initially already felt. Outside of gameplay, their menu seems to not work with some settings. Under comfort, you have the ability to disable the inventory HUD that pops up constantly to let you know which shoulder slots are empty. This HUD is very annoying and distracting to me, as I don't need to know I have an axe on my right shoulder at all times when playing. When you disable this HUD inside the settings, it goes away, but as soon as you interact with those shoulder inventory slots again, lo and behold, they return in full force. So unfortunately, I have to say that once the initial novelty of seeing armigers fighting, holding a heavy bolter, and seeing a Black Templar wore off, I was left with a mediocre spectacle shooter that left me feeling frustrated when I tried to play my way, and punished me when I tried to play the way they wanted. The co-op HOD mode as well, which I didn't get any footage of, is just a single platform you and your friend have to defend endlessly. It's incredibly stale. It may have updated since I last tried it, but I have not tried it since then. If you're a fan of shooters and would like to experience a hallway shooter set in a cool sci-fi setting, you'll probably like it. If you're a fan of 40k as a setting and aren't too worried about getting a lore-heavy experience in a cool 40k setting, you'll definitely like it. That said, I can't help but feel let down. Maybe in time they'll update it, but with what could have really been a brilliant 40k experience feels like a cheaply made hallway shooter with badly implemented melee physics and a bland horde mode attached. Even Arizona Sunshine from 2016 had a better horde mode. It's $30 and promises 5 to 6 hours in the campaign. I couldn't beat the campaign myself as I had to deal with a number of crashes on my original quest and got tired of the bugs on the PC version. I hope this video helps you make your decisions, and I hope your day doesn't suck. Thanks for 700 subs.